Hey, welcome back to Happy Little No Trees. I am Greg, and today we're going to talk about ColorSlice. Well, not the ColorSlice that you know in Resolve. That would be silly. I've never been a big fan of it, but I am also a person that has used mononode shapers, and I just, finally have been pulling together various saturation and density tools and other things into one consolidated tool set that works like ColorSlice, and it is GE ColorSlice, because that is, you're just cutting up the color wheel and slicing it up like a pizza pie. And you can see here we have a variety of controls. It's a lot of fun, so we're going to dive right in and look at my ColorSlice tool. The first thing, we're just going to reset all of this for right now. And the first thing you'll want to do, because this is a DCTL, so it doesn't have cool OFX UI where I could actually order things in a way in which would make sense. This is really a secondary grading tool after you've done your primary balancing and your look dev. So I think I want to fix maybe the water and make the water feel a little bit more saturated and rich, so those greens. So here you have your slicer. This pretty much just does preset hue vectors for red, yellow, green, cyan, and blue, and then magenta, and then we also can do it by quadrant as well. So let's just say we want to affect the water, so we'll click cyan. Now, to really know what you're doing, start with show selection mask, and you can see here how it's masking out and showing what is selected. And so you have where your hue range is, so you can make that a little bit bigger. You can broaden that out. You can spin it and kind of dial it in and see what you're selecting with that. So just kind of, if the green cyan quadrant is dead center in the middle, you just offset that by degrees. So these values are in degrees, go 180 negative. So you pretty much flip it or flip it back the other way, or you keep it where I set it as a preset. Fall off kind of just tweaks and adjusts how the values of the Gaussian curve function in the shoulders and the toe, and so you can make it more powerful or less powerful in the shoulder in that way. And then luminosity is a bit the same. You can push where the center for luminosity is up closer to the top, or pull it down and just affect lower lume colors. And the same for styling in the range. You want it to be a broader range off that center, and then the Gaussian roll off, fall off control. So that's kind of just going through and making your selection out of the box. This last one is partly selection, partly work related, but it is a setup control, and it's called chroma weighting. And there is a chroma effects mask, and it is I don't know. It is something that is there that I put in for some reason, and it will just affect how much control there is over low as you get up. It controls a lot of the controls. So like, it's going to have an effect where when you push up saturation, lower chromaticity colors, like things that are closer to gray, are not going to be affected as much when you change this slider, versus if you put it down to 0 and turn off all chroma weighting, weighting, all the colors in your selection are affected. And now there is some details with how the masking works, where you are affecting how the mask selection works as well, in terms of how the saturation gets applied. So you can make it so that all the colors all the colors in your selection are affected, or you can have a soft, slowly sliding up cutoff, so that things that are less chroma, have less color in them, are affected less than that. It's a very important control, especially for dialing in and getting rid of artifacts. I'm not going to say that this tool was designed to prevent artifacts. Density kind of just works up and down that volume lume scale of pushing things in a spherical model towards white or black, depending on where you want to go. And hue rotation, you can rotate those hues 180 degrees if you want, all the way around. If you're watching on the scopes, it's a lot of fun over there, but you can do that. It's full rotation all the way around. Make that water blue. Let's not make it green. Maybe a little green. I don't know. A hue consolidator, that is similar to the Concept Magic Tool in terms of what it does. Going negative pushes the hues away from your hue center right here. Whereas Consolidator, this is cool in quadrant mode, you can bring every color in the quadrant together. And this happens before rotation. So you consolidate and then you rotate those hues around. And then Separation Boost works on things that are not selected. So you can see here, this is the before after. We've pretty much selected the water and some of the trees and have rotated that water from being a greenish hue to a bluish hue. Now, Separation Boost will slowly tweak and add density to other things. And then this one I'm still working on some of the code for it, because you can see it's having some issues with the hat, and I haven't really figured out why. We've pushed saturation up, and it's supposed to have a chroma, but you have to kind of balance that mask selection out. I'm still working on Separation Boost, okay? It's supposed to work on everything in a way that kind of just helps, but it's having some issues today. But you can see here, very fun with just some slight hue rotation, just bring down the density. But we're really just tweaking that mountains. We can probably bring down the luminosity center even more and kind of just tighten up a little bit. And there, we've kind of pulled things all over the place. The jacket's being affected. We should look at that mask again. What do we do? What do we do when we fiddle? Like, we don't want that mask as selected, the jacket as selected, because that affects the hue rotation. We can just kind of bring that together there, and we're mostly affecting some of those hills and the water that's coming in. You can see the before after. Just kind of tinted. Some unique thing. But yeah, that chroma weighting tool is a very important tweak to make sure that you're not getting artifacts. And I made it user facing. It is to a degree something you could have be not user facing. But yeah, if they were like, hey, we want that green to be blue. And that works. So yeah, Separation Boost, I would just be very careful with it. But this is my magic color slicing tool. And you can see if we wanted to, that was one of the cool things. The reason I like mononode shapers, I don't like having to go find each individual one. I can just go and copy this, carry over these settings, and say I want to pick a different quadrant, say let's go red yellow, and show selection, and we're going to turn off hue rotation, and we can see we're now selecting that hat and kind of dial that in, get off of the water there, and kind of just working some of these same settings. You can see now we're just working that hat, and we can pushed up the saturation on the hat, and we can bring down the density even more, or push up the density and lighten it up a lot more. And that's just doing in a parallel node, being able to quickly reuse the same settings that you search for and just making tweaks to there is one of the reasons I have made this to function slightly different than how mononodes shapers do, where you get to select your vector for this tool in the hue selection format there. Right now it's just expecting linear. I also have Davinci Wide Gamut in there to just pull it into linear. I can add more input formats if need be. I haven't gotten around to that. This is still just testing, but a lot of these controls are in various other tools that I've released. Especially this hue consolidator is so fun in terms of how it works. But yeah, that chroma weighting tool is very important. And the reason you might not, the other thing is the reason you might want to turn this off is it affects the mask. So if we turn that off and we turn away all of our changes, you can see here that there's nothing going on because the mask isn't affected, but it would be affected if we click output channel. Now, the thing with this is you want to make sure when you have a tool like this that is outputting the alpha channel that you go in here and use for mixing, you turn that off. Because if it says use for mixing and then you do something like this, you'll be like, hey, nothing happened except some weird artifacts. That's because it's trying to do that selection, and so you can go turn off. It's trying to blend that alpha with your input. So now you have what you had, but what you see as a selection now is actually an alpha output. So you can actually run this to another node that's separate here and give this, you can see here, down here, we've made that as an output selection. So now you can throw this in, say, gamma linear. And if we add this to our stack here, our parallel stack, what we have going on, let's clean up that node graph a little bit. Delete these extra things. What we have here is we've selected that hat. We've used these really cool selectors to select that hat, and we've made that be a mask that we output. And now we can work on that hat with our linear gain wheel. Isn't that fun? So it kind of makes it, you want to make sure that's enabled, and you don't want to use it for mixing. And then you would just go back to show selection mask and turn that off. And you can see here we just made a linear gain adjustment to our color. So you can dial things in that way as well. So it's just allowing to have all those features out and about doing different things as an individual color slicing tool set. So there is that. It's a tool. It exists. I'm still refining it. This is a beta version. If you go to the website, link in the description, and pick it up, it's inside the membership program of Happy Little Node Trees. It's $47.34, but you get access to all my tools. You download them. You can cancel the subscription anytime. The subscription really is only manages if I do updates to tools over the years. So be sure to check that out. There's a lot of tools up there, and you can get this one lickety-split free. Well, not free, but for that. But it's in beta version. I'm still making some tweaks to how these controls work and things like that. But this output masking, very nice. Especially to be able to use any tool you want with the Slice-O-Matic. Anyways, have a good day. See you next time. Happy Little Node Tree Day.